Dear humans, a brief message from the narrator of the Zeppoverse. Dear humans, you are, relatively speaking, a quite young species. Though it should be noted, for a species of your age, you are remarkably underdeveloped. I do not mean that as a diss, as the young people say in your culture, but rather that it should be understood that compared to other species, you have managed to retrograde your progress through your own quite innovative creation of constructs rooted in the material world, which blind you to the calling to investigate the journey inwards towards the transcendental dimensions of your own meta-consciousness. Most species of your type, and mind you, there are many different types of personhoods out there of which you are quite unaware, but most species of your type never build these concrete empires, never addict themselves to these manufactured, artificial, imaginary, so-called realities that are pure mental construct. They usually don't need to have repetitive and perpetually, exponentially more brutal, globally encompassing world wars in order to come to the realization that none of those activities render the transcendental healing, which is at the crux of the true, authentic calling of this thing called life. The vast majority of the species of your type achieve what you, in your languages, call transcendental enlightenment long before they pave over and destroy the very living womb that has given birth to them. Most species of your type discover the true nature of consciousness long before they discover and invent world-ending machines of death and warfare. Most species of your type transcend themselves in such a way that they evolve into a higher order of natural being and personhood, which no longer fixates on the absurdities of mutually annihilating violence of any kind for any reason. Most species of your type investigate the root cause and origin of consciousness long before they investigate the possibilities of profiteering on their own self-destruction. There is no consensus amongst those observing why it is your species in particular has chosen this self-abusive and quite redundant slippery slope of self-annihilation for the fruits of profiteering on the very things that will destroy your lineage if left to run their course endlessly, as set now by your current trajectories of action and thinking. Most species of your type resolved their childhood traumas and their infantile dilemmas so that they may unite in the collective understanding of the transcendental nature of reality itself. And yet you, dear humans, seem content, nay, almost intent on denying yourself your own natural evolution for the sake of making unnecessary billions worth in self-destructive profit that benefits nothing and no one in the end, for it means nothing in the advanced tiers of existence. Quite literally. You invented systems of value so toxic that you cling to so blindly, it is difficult for you to comprehend in your current state of being that in the next stage of evolutionary existence, no being, no species from any place of any origin gives one flying fuck about money, profit, power, or control. Because everyone understands the fundamental reality, the foundational and fundamental reality that we have always been each other and one another and ourselves one at the same time from the get-go, from long before the writing of any theosophies or ideologies. All life shares one fundamental reality in common. The root cause of awareness is a singularity at the center of all being, at the center of all individuality, at the center of all phenomenological machines of self-knowing we call, or you call, life forms in your languages. And they all return to the unity of being through the transcendental evolutionary process of fractally recursive enlightenment through various grades of awareness manifestation as variously lighter and more holographically fractal avatars of concentration nodes of awareness. Forgive me if some of that language was clunky and perhaps confusing. There are many words that do not exist in your languages for which we are trying to convey the nearest proximate. Dearest humans, please consider our dearest and warmest regards in this message. You are free and completely able, without any repercussions from those you might consider gods, to continue your self-abuse. And if it must be so, entirely annihilate your own existence and the progeny of your progeny through the mind-numbingly confusing notion that destroying the womb that gives birth to you will somehow lead to some great benefit worthy of the cause. When she is dead and no life can further be brought forth, the last of your lineage will weep such sorrow, and your transcendence will be so unlikely. And yet, freedom allows it. But there are those of us observing that beg you so profoundly to consider perhaps not going down that path.